Live stream. We're live. All right. Yeah. Summer at SAC. I'm a hot mustard, and I am joined here with Phillip. Now, last name.
It's Casarez.
Casarez. Okay.
Yeah. Casarez. So Casa and then Rez.
Okay. I've been in San Antonio all my life. I haven't seen that last name like that yet.
It's we have a few, family members in San Antonio, so you'll see it every now and then. Maybe some different spellings, but we're all family.
Nice. Nice. Speaking of family, we're talking about San Antonio College, talking about our family.
Yes, sir.
And we had, it's summertime. We did the Speaking of SAC before, and now it's summertime. Dr. Vela has a lot of work going on. So we thought it'd be nice to take this time to go around to different departments on campus and see what they're doing. And let's stay in contact. Let's stay together. So today we're talking about advising your area of the campus.
Yeah, so I'm part of advising. I'm a certified advisor, been with SAC for about 4 years now. My area of advising is within the creative and communication arts advising. So first of all, shout out to all my advising family out there, but a special shout out to my team, Bonita, Norma, Jen, Bonnie, Mary, and Stephanie. So I just want to talk about some important deadlines. I want to talk about some questions that you guys might have, and see what we can do to kind of help you guys.
I want to. How does your day differ from the traditional get up, get ready, go to work? How are you handling this? How's your personal day changed?
Yeah, my personal day has changed a lot, actually. And a lot of it for the better, to be completely honest. I usually would have about an hour commute. My commute is from my bedroom to my work area now. So, so that's changed a lot. I get to spend a lot more time with my family here, with my pet. So I think, things are different, but there are some really good things to take out of this as well.
Nice. Very nice. So advising, what tip, when we say advising on campus, when we talk about advising, whenever we hear the word advising, there's a big sigh maybe associated with it. When students try to register, advising.
Yeah, I think
why do we need advising? First off,
I think in some cases, advising might be a little bit misunderstood. Bottom line, Hot Mustard, is that we're here to help. We want students to come to us, ask for advice regarding which classes that they should be taking, because sometimes when you're a student, you don't tend to see the entire picture, at least immediately. And that's part of our job. We want you to be able to see the big picture and say, my end goal is to get to UT Austin or to UTSA or Texas A&M San Antonio. And we want to start with that end in mind and start breaking it down to see where you are at that moment, and then building that plan out to get to that end goal. So, obviously we love students. We want them to be here and everything, but at the same time, we want to put them on a path that's not going to delay their time to get to their ultimate goal. So advising really tends to try to build those plans. So according to whatever goals that student has, if your goal is to be an architecture major and move on to UTSA, then I want to be able to work with that student and say, this is the fastest way that you can get there. Or I can say, based on your situation, where you only can take 6 hours at a time for whatever reason, we can build your plan like this. So advising, like I said, is really about helping the student and individualizing a plan specifically for them.
I remember when I was a student at SAC years and years ago, advising was available, but it really wasn't required. And I know nowadays we do require students to be advised. You need to be advised before you can even register for courses.
Right.
But I remember, I think it was after my third year of being at SAC that a professor finally pulled me aside. I believe it was Bruce Davis, and he's like, you've been here a while. Um, let's go look at your transcripts and let's talk about what you're doing here.
Yeah.
And then I graduated a couple semesters later. So I definitely can see the benefits of advising. I see students, nowadays we have students that are here 3, 4, 5 years, but I don't see as many of them compared back to when I was a student here.
Right. And the thing is, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with being here for 3, 4, 5 years, depending on the student situation. Some students are able to take a full load, and finish a little bit faster. Some students are, have to be able to take, one class, two classes at a time. And that's totally okay. At SAC, we have, roughly about 80% of our population is part-time or part-time students. So just with that, that means that our students are going to take a little bit more time to finish. And like I said, that's totally okay. I mean, we want to be able to help our students in any way that we can. We want to encourage students to get involved, provide different kinds of resources for them. So that's where a meeting with an advisor can also help out. It's not necessarily just about getting the classes that you need, but it's also about being exposed to different kinds of resources, and being able to find different kinds of engagement on campus.
Definitely. And it's interesting that you bring that part up. And I brought up earlier, if you want to be an architecture major and then transfer out to these other institutions, sometimes, when we're at SAC and I was there, I wasn't thinking beyond San Antonio College. I was like, no, I'm here in the now. San Antonio College, my associates, that's what I'm going to do. Done. But there's other, students that want to go on to these 4-year universities. And this is definitely where advising can help you a lot, because, it might help you pick the classes that you may or may not need at the 4-year.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is about advising is that we're not only trying to get you to your end goal, but we can also help you maybe explore other options as well. I was in a situation when I was in school, where I went to UTSA because somebody told me, hey, do you want to make this amount of money? And I said, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do, not knowing anything about the major itself, or anything about anything really. And as I went through the system, starting to talk to my advisor, I quickly found that was not going to be the major that I was going to be successful at. And there's a lot of different reasons why students might choose to go a different route. But I think having those conversations early is imperative to making sure that student is going to find success in their own way.
I also remember back in the day that they had the college bulletin, and it was a book like this thick, and it was printed every semester. And you go and you find this book, and you find your classes that are available to what you need, and good luck.
Did it look like that?
Yes.
Something like that.
Oh my goodness. And we had them every semester, every year, I believe. And it was insane that there are that many classes that there's that many classes that we offer at San Antonio College. I think that is amazing. And it was nice to look at that book, because you can see what other majors there are. Sometimes someone could go to San Antonio College and like, oh, well, I didn't know that you do mortuary science here. I didn't know there was a radio station here. I didn't know this and this and this. San Antonio College, it's a community college, but it is huge.
No, I completely agree. So they stopped making those books roughly around like 2009, 2010, something like that. But all that information can still be found online. So there is benefit for students being able to explore that, and they have that a little bit more available to them if they're able to look online. But I do know what you mean about having that book right in front of you, that physical thing that you can flip through and kind of discover new things. Um, yeah, so I mean, I was there with you. I followed that book. I looked up new things. I mean, I must have researched probably about 10 different majors before I selected the one that I wanted when I was in school.
Wow. Wow. So, also, not only do you have the keys to the kingdom as far as being able to register,
Yeah,
because it happens every year. Every semester registration time. When are the registration dates opening? And one question that I do get asked a lot is, I don't understand why we do time ticketed registration. Explain it
yeah.
a little bit.
Okay, cool. So the time ticketing experience is, it's really based on how many credit hours that student has already accomplished. So we're looking we're looking to see and give priority to the students that have accumulated a few more hours at SAC and get them to get into the classes that they absolutely need in order to graduate. So, for example, if I'm a student with 46 hours, it's probably a little bit more important for me, I guess, to enroll in my final biology class, maybe as opposed to a freshman that can also enroll in that same class. In my situation with 46 hours, if I don't meet that class requirement, I don't graduate. Whereas maybe a freshman would have a little bit more time to potentially take that class. And so, just based off of that, we try to accommodate students based on how many credit hours that they've accumulated. But I also want to point out that the faculty has done a really good job of making sure that if we do find a student within that situation and hypothetically that class is closed, every department every department chair, every faculty member that I've had contact with when that situation happens, they've been very much willing to accommodate that student in some aspect too. So shout out to the faculty for always helping our students meet their requirements.
Nice. So right now we are in, Maymester. It's here. We're
Maymester is here. Started on Monday.
yep. We're already going into it. Um, the spring semester, we're done with it. So happy for that.
Yeah, spring
But
semester
coming
was
up,
a little rough, but we're making it through.
yes. Um, Summer semester and summer two. So summer session one, it's going to be going on June 8th through
Right.
July 9th. And now these courses, the college, we're still going to a 4-day work week in the summertime.
That's correct. Yeah. So we start on June 1st for that. So June 1st is going to be that Monday. We start working Monday through Thursday. We're going to have Fridays off. So for students, that's going to look like, that they want to make sure to check out their specific detailed schedule. Make sure that that's still going to be the case. For as far as I know, I don't think that we have any classes on Friday at all scheduled, but I could be wrong. So students always make sure to check your detailed schedule.
Yes. Summer session two, that's going to be coming up July 13th through August 13th. So registration is open for those times. Now, do they still have classes that carry through both summer session one and two?
Right. So yeah. So we have that session as well. So usually that will start at the exact same time as the summer one.
Oh, okay.
It'll just end a little bit before summer two ends.
Okay.
So as far as registration goes, regarding the summer one, registration for that is going to end May 31st. So if anybody is thinking, that they're still trying to figure out which classes might be available, you have until May 31st, so that's coming up really quick to kind of decide on whether or not you want to do summer one. Summer two, you have a little bit more time. That registration date's going to end July 5th.
Awesome. Did you ever take summer courses?
Yeah, I did. I actually ended up taking summer courses in my final year for my bachelor's degree, and that was probably not the best choice because that was a rough semester.
I bet.
Uh, you
I
know,
mean, I
the thing is, summer classes are usually they're usually a little bit tougher. I mean, you're condensing a lot of information into a shorter period of time, and so when students ask about summer classes, I usually will recommend that they try to be strategic with the classes that they choose. If they feel that they're going to be a little bit more stronger in certain areas, like for example, if a student is really great at a government class or a history class or a math class, then I think that that would be a wise decision to take that potentially in the summer, especially considering that we have our new expanded summer momentum plan going on. So definitely students that do qualify, they want to take advantage of that, so that way they can get those free classes. But alternatively, if a student is asking regarding whether they should take a math class, for example, in the summer, and they don't happen to be very strong in have very strong math skills, at that point, that's probably not the best choice to take in the summer.
definitely, definitely. I same as you. It wasn't until I got my bachelor's that I had to take summer courses, and I had always prided myself saying I will never ever take a summer course. That's my time.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done it sooner.
No, I
To be
completely
honest.
agree. I completely agree. I think one of the benefits to taking classes in the summer also is you get to really focus on that one class or those two classes that you're going to be taking, and it's not you alleviate some of that pressure of taking five classes or four classes all at one time. So students have told me in the past that if I can focus on one or two classes and just put all my focus in that, I know I can be successful, and most of the time they are. So there are definitely benefits. I would for a student, asking my advice on whether or not they should take those summer classes, I would say, just really take a look at your own abilities and what you're willing to kind of put out there, because it can be very difficult to go through a summer course.
Yes, traumatic maybe.
Yeah.
I remember wasn't too long ago, but right after the spring semester, boom, Maymester, I'm taking federal government. Right after that, boom, summer session one, I'm taking Spanish one, but it's the Spanish one that carries over to overlap with summer session two.
Right.
Meanwhile, summer session two starts, I'm taking Spanish two. So,
Yeah, it can
don't do what
be.
I did unless you're real. Don't you know? You need to know how you work. You need to know how you
Right.
learn. If you think you can handle it, if you're ready to step up and take the challenge to do something like that, go for it. I think it's a great opportunity. I wish we had the summer momentum plan when I was coming here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a great opportunity. Especially with the expanded summer momentum plan. We've had summer momentum for the past couple of years, but the expanded summer momentum plan is giving students an opportunity to take even more classes or more hours, and have that paid off as well. So. So I mean, those students that are interested in learning a little bit more of that, we do have a website that you can potentially go and research that. And I think we're going to go ahead and plug those websites in the comments or somewhere in the description. Uh,
Yeah,
we have programs at the Keep Learning website. So that's alamo.edu/keep learning. And the expanded summer momentum plan is within one of those newly formed resources for students.
and for those who don't know what the summer momentum plan is, if you would take, I believe it's 12 hours.
Yeah, so usually what happens is if we base it on a fall spring enrollment. So students that were completing 18 hours between the fall and the spring, we're getting 3 hours free in the summer. Those students that were completing 24 hours between the fall and the spring with the C or better, we're getting 6 hours free in the summer. With the expanded summer momentum plan, that's students that are completing those 24 hours between the fall and the spring with a 2.0 GPA are now getting up to 9 hours free in the summer. and the students, with 18 hours are then getting 6 hours free in the summer. So I think that website regarding the expanded summer momentum kind of explains things a little bit more, but that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah.
There are very specific requirements in order to qualify for it. So what I would suggest is students can go to that website, kind of peruse that website, make sure that they understand it. If they still have questions, they can definitely get with your advisor, and their advisor can tell them exactly, yes, you qualify, and you qualify for this many hours.
Nice. Nice. So, when should students start thinking about when to register for classes?
For class, yeah. So I mean, like, I think one of the benefits of meeting with an advisor early on is you can kind of plan that your semester by semester plan, I guess, as early as possible. If a student were to come to me right now, a brand new first time freshman, and said, I know I want to do architecture. I know I want to go to UTSA. I can give them a plan from the very start to the very finish, and say, this is exactly what you need to be doing on a semester by semester basis. Um, Now, that can potentially change from time to time. Sometimes students unfortunately need to drop classes for whatever reasons, or retake classes, or life happens. We get that. But I think that's the importance, again, of continuing to go to your advisor at least once a semester, just to make sure that your plan is cool. So in answer to your question, students can think about that next semester as early as possible. In terms of where we currently are, fall registration is currently open for all students. So if you're not completely set on whether or not you want to do summer classes, but for sure you want to do fall classes, go ahead and meet with your advisor and just let them know, like, I really want to discuss my options for the fall semester, and we can definitely work out something to get you registered.
Now, for students coming out of high school, this is a completely different environment. Usually, I think we'd all be at SAC right now, giving tours, signing students up from the high
Kissing
schools.
babies and
Yeah, we'd be having a good time. But unfortunately, that's not the case for the high school students just coming out. I will say one thing, when we do go to the websites to look at classes and the degree plans, usually they're listed as semester 1, semester 2, semester 3, semester 4, all these classes.
Yeah.
That can be a bit intimidating to people. And,
Yeah.
and I will say, not everyone follows that. Uh,
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, not only is it intimidating, it can be really confusing too. Depending on the your major, there may be different ways that you can still get to your end goal, but while you're at SAC, there may be different ways for you to graduate as well. And so that's again, part of the benefit of meeting with your advisor to discuss what is the best way that I can reach my goals while I'm at SAC, but also set myself up for success at my next institution, or my job, right after my associate's degree, depending on whatever it is that you're interested in doing. So yeah, I think if you ever have any kinds of questions, just feel free to reach out to us. And I know that there's a lot of information out there on websites. Websites can kind of be confusing as far as how to navigate them as well. Your advisor is really your best resource in terms of making sure that you're on the same page with the advisor, and understanding exactly what your path needs to be to get to your next goal.
Definitely. So there are some deadlines that we did just talk about. If you want to find out deadlines for registration, payments, all of that, alamo.edu/calendars. Every deadline that you need to make is on that website. Now, I want to circle back to students just coming out of high school. what is the first thing they should do? Where is the first site they should go?
Yeah, so students that are coming in, from high school into this environment, I mean, like you mentioned, this is going to be a completely um, different thing for them. And to be honest, it's going to be a little different for us too. But essentially, students need to meet with, apply to SAC first, and that they can apply through applytexas.org. They can choose to meet with an enrollment coach, just to kind of get the ball rolling. At some point, they will go through an orientation. Once that orientation kind of happens, they'll be able to meet with an advisor who will then start that conversation as far as setting them up for their first semester courses, and then kind of building from there.
And also, going on tomorrow is SAC signing day.
Yeah, SAC signing day is going to be pretty exciting, actually. So I've been able to kind of get a sneak peek at some of the things that they're doing, including some of the gifts that they're going to be, or prizes that they're going to be giving away. Dr. Vela is going to make an appearance. There's going to be a TikTok contest, I think. So I mean, I think that's very exciting stuff. I don't think that I've seen anything like that before. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to turn out for them. And really excited for these students that are coming in too. I mean, as you know, the challenges with being in this online environment is we're trying to find ways that we can still engage students. If we're not engaging students, we're really not getting them excited about college. And this is an opportunity for them, where they need to be excited about college, because it is fun. It's hard work for sure. It's confusing at times, but at the end of the day, when you have that associate's degree from SAC, that's what it's all about, man. And then it just propels you to the next level in terms of everything. And that's what I want, and that's what advisors want, and that's what everybody wants at SAC. We're all a big family. We're all trying to help the students as much as possible. Yeah, so I mean, any one of us can kind of direct students in the right direction, if they're kind of lost in anything. So for sure, reach out.
So, advising San Antonio College, all about customization of
Yes,
your
yeah,
future here at
yeah,
SAC.
yeah.
That's
We
awesome.
want we want them to be successful. Whether that means they're going to transfer, whether that means that they're going to just get a job right out of their associate's degree. We want them to have the success that they deserve.
Nice. Very nice. Now, with this whole coronavirus situation and working from home, and do you see more of this style Zoom meetings going forward as far as advising goes?
I mean, I think that the question's still out there of whether or not, what kind of capacity we're going to be at in the fall semester, and maybe going forward. But I definitely think that Zoom is kind of here to stay. We've always had, kind of a disconnect with our students that might be completely online students. And I think that this kind of forced environment is really going to help those students specifically, but also enhance the experience of students across the board. So yeah, I mean, I think regardless of what the situation looks like in terms of whether or not we're going to physically be on campus, I think that Zoom's here to stay, man. And I mean, I personally enjoy it. Every now and then, I guess you'll get to see my cat walk across the desk. And students, and the same thing on my end. I'll hear a mom or somebody saying "Mijo," and I'm with my advisor, mom, and stuff like that. But I mean, it's all good, man. I mean, we're adjusting. Advisors are adjusting. You're adjusting, and it's all for the students, man. So whatever I have to do to be flexible, I mean, so they can be successful, that's what I'm all about.
Awesome. Awesome. Get advised today. Remote advising sessions going on. One-on-one consultation, customization of your future, your plan, your goals. Where do you want to go? And Phillip will take you there.
That's right.
Awesome. So it was fun talking to you today, man. And let's give out some websites. So alamo.edu/calendars, and that will tell you all of your deadlines as far as registration and payments go. Alamo.edu/advising. And from there, you can just click on the college that you're at, San Antonio College, preferably, because we're summer at SAC right now. And from there, you have Institute Advising, Veterans Affairs Advising, Empowerment Center Advising. You have Zoom rooms ready to go. And walk-ins advisings are Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, so we have walk-ins right now that are scheduled on Tuesday evenings. So we do have scheduled advisors to be with us from in the evening hours for students that can't get with us between 8 and 5. So right now it's scheduled from 5 to 7 walk-ins. I believe that's going to end up changing a little bit for the summer sessions. So keep an eye out on the advising website also for any updates regarding walk-ins or any kind of availability. And again, reach out to your certified advisor if you have that information. That should be located on the student's ACEs page. And just reach out to them and say, hey, look, I have this issue, and can we meet sometime soon? And your ability to schedule an appointment with that advisor is definitely there as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Phil.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks, Hot
it.
Mustard.
And catch us here every Wednesday, 3:30 to 4 for Summers at SAC. I'm Hot Mustard, and I'll see y'all next week.
Thanks, guys.